word Anunnaki, earliest translation, was written in the region of Gudu. These beings were known as sky gods, they who came from heaven to earth. Old mythologies suggest that these group of beings came from the planet Nibiru. They came to Earth searching for gold as the atmosphere in Nibiru was destroyed due to wars that commenced on the home planet. It's believed these beings' average size was 9 foot tall, and with great possibility they created humans by manipulating primate DNA to mine gold. I question surely if they were technically, scientifically advanced enough to travel through space, surely they would have had the technology to design machines. There is evidence suggesting that there is mining caves known as the Adam's Calendar, located in southeast of Africa. They have found mining facilities dating back to 450,000 years ago. With great possibility, these facilities was used by beings who were genetically advanced primates created by the Anunnaki. There is many ancient tablets throughout the Mesopotamian lands containing detailed accounts of who these sky people were. It also contains the origin of human creation, myths, stories, and it does suggest that certain times in history, humans lived amongst the Anunnaki. There was Enki, a great scientist, Enlil, the commander of the heaven and earth, Nimasa and Ninasag, who were related to Enki and Enlil. There was Marduk, who was Enki's son, and Anu, being the father of all, known as the Most High. There has been many books published translating these ancient tablets, which shows the Anunnaki's intentions and goals. These tablets were named as the Atrahasis, the last book of Enki, and the Enuma Elish. The Enuma Elish translation is known to be one of the oldest texts found upon in Iraq. Religions and the ancient tablets hold similar writings which can be seen within architecture, buildings, and symbology. Many carvings represent almost identical knowledge and wisdom. Enki can be seen as many character representations throughout the ancient worlds, such as Thoth, Yeshua, the dog and fish god, and the most common, the serpent in the biblical scriptures of Adam and Eve. He has formed into many reincarnations of past, guiding human beings to evolve. Enlil was known as Yahweh to the Hebrews and Allah for the Muslims, for he wanted to be worshipped. Enki gave humanity knowledge of being able to do good and evil, but these are all concepts, for there is so many angles to look upon such information. It comes down to personal belief of the individual. A great example within Jewish Christianity and Islamic faiths, the serpent is viewed as evil, but within Eastern cultures, the serpent is viewed as the opposite, being a symbol of healing and medicine. The atrahasis contains a wide range of information why the flood was afflicted upon mankind. With great reason, it was Enlil who ordered the catastrophic event to wipe out humanity. It was written in the time frame of 17 BCE. Enlil, the son of Anu, and was chosen to be successor of Nibiru and commander of heaven and earth. He was directly chosen to have control over humanity, but this had frustrated Marduk, for he suggested that it should have been his father Enki, as he was the firstborn of Anu. The ancient tablets states that the Anunnaki had many disputes with each other. Within the last book of Enki, it states the Anunnaki had their own factions, creating many different clans, so they used humanity through wars and fighting to outwit each other to gain power and control. There had been so many wars, Anu visited Earth to fix and bring great order by fixing the chaos, for he installed stability amongst his sons and daughters by selecting a pyramid system of control. He gave Enlil the entitlement to be the commander of heaven and earth. Enki was given second to that right, and so on down the line. But it didn't fully stop the rivalry between Enki and Enlil. They would outwit each other and dominate each other in different parts of the world. Enki wanted humanity to be free, for he taught humanity about raising consciousness, but on the other hand, Enlil wanted obedience, applying law and order. Enki and Enlil had the children born onto Earth, and for them growing up, they had no choice to commence and follow their father's footsteps. It can still be seen within today's times. That's why there is so many religions on this planet, for there are many more deities than just Enki and Enlil. Humanity is being used as a tool to demonstrate their motives and factions, for their behaviors have rubbed off on humanity in many ways, such as politics, wars, and so many different belief systems. Enki had the brains, being a creator of many things. He was a liberal thinker and an engineer of manipulating 8 DNA, creating so many different creations. Without Enki, none of us would be here now. He loved his creation so much that he instructed Noah to build an ark and save his seed line of humanity from the flood. Enlil composed his rule to build a structure of rules and regulations upon mankind to be obedient. He was the chosen commander by his father Anu, so with such intense pressure being put upon him, he had to succeed in demonstrating authority and power over humanity. Ninusag was a sister to Enki and Enlil. Her love for Enlil was strong. They had earth-born children, but on the other hand, Enki was the sexual predator. He had sex with Ninusag and his female creations. He had spread his seed line amongst humanity. With so many abominations on planet Earth, Enlil's plan was for the flood to wipe out humanity and the abominations that crept upon planet Earth. The key was to wipe out all their experimentations and the abnormal species which had corrupted the Earth. But Enki made sure that the humans with the Anunnaki seed line were saved. After the flood, it was an era for a new beginning. Even to this day, you can see how Enlil controls this world, for he has applied law and order, while Enki, on the other hand, has mixed into Eastern culture's spiritual practices which now is crept into Western society. These practices backdate from ancient civilizations where the teachings came from Enki and the Agigi. Enlil was annoyed that humanity was saved by his brother Enki. It was the Agigi led by Marduk who mated with human women, which then created the giants known as the Nephilim. There is plenty of proof that these giants existed, as there are many giant skulls and skeletons which has been found all over the world. Within Egypt and Iraq, visualizing the sculptures and drawings, you can see that they drew giants, and there was weird looking mutations such as human splicing, which looked like humans mixed with animal bodies. Now people are quickly to debunk such information, saying it was a form of art or imagination, but there is many humans today born with animal features such as tails and horns. To what length did Enki go to experiment with many different species? It makes sense why Enlil wanted to wipe out all what had happened, for Enlil stated within the last book of Enki that he did not want to become God to these human beings. He was furious, stating that Enki had broken the divinity of the universe by mixing Anunnaki DNA with ape primates. The Agigi taught mankind all kinds of things, such as astrology, technology, and how to make use of metal on Earth, all acts of war, human sorcery, such as makeup and medicines, teaching humanity spirituality. Researching the Sumerian tablets such as the Atrahasis and the last book of Enki, there is no doubt that the biblical gods of human creation was the Anunnaki. Within the Quran, it states that they can confuse humanity and separate us into hostile groups. It also goes on to say we can change the verses and bring something similar to what was or cause oblivion on such things. This speaks in volumes considering on how many different ancient tablets have been found upon. Are we just an experiment ongoing from apes, monkeys, hominids, Homo erectus to Homo sapiens? These creations was the building blocks of producing humanity. It has been going on for thousands upon thousands of years. Scientists have now came to the conclusion that humanity and apes share a common ancestor. The missing proof are the beings who created us. Enki, Nina, and Ninasog are beings who created humans. They mixed Anunnaki blood with the eggs of a female hominid. This fertilized egg was then transferred into female Anunnakis to give birth. There was many experiments and trials which produced many failures, with no success, as many of the experiments detected all kinds of flaws and errors. For some of them was deformed with speech problems, for they could not understand instructions. So by not being able to comply to the needs of Enki, he kept going until he got what he was hoping for, a being who could understand basic instructions. Also a being able to operate with tools to mine gold. So to accomplish the task of fixing Iberia's atmosphere, Enki realized he needed more slaves, but he knew that the Anunnaki females to keep producing these beings is a risk, and time was not on his hands. With bright thinking, he thought by mixing his own sperm with the DNA, he could clone such beings which then could procreate. He named these beings the Adapa. They was not given the lifespan of the Anunnaki. Once Enlil found out about the human creation was able to reproduce, he was angered and questioned Enki's motives. Within the last book of Enki, it states that Enlil was annoyed that Enki had taught the Adapa universal knowledge and the secrets of the Anunnaki. Enlil then took charge of the situation and banished humanity from the Garden of Eden. Within biblical scriptures, Enki is the snake who gave humanity knowledge of good and evil.